started streaming live. Yes, it has started, and oh my goodness, what's happening? Okay, fine. I'll share the link for today's class here. I think it is this one. So I hope my screen is visible to you, not this set of slides. Yeah. So we were learning about the advanced data structures or the data structures in Python. Okay. So we have learned about data types. We know that data types means that it will represent what kind of data is stored by a particular variable, correct? Or what kind of data, that is it a floating point value, is it a number, is it a string, or is it a character, or is it a complex number, or is it a list? Okay. So what kind of data structure, what a data type it is will be described. Okay, list doesn't qualify as a data type. Okay, it qualifies as a data structure because list is a collection of multiple data types. Okay. And so we have data types and then data structures, and in data structures we have learned list, tuples and dictionaries. So from data structures, from what we have learned so far, one thing that we can understand very easily is that it is about storing the data in a particular way and then manipulating it based on certain rules. And you can say that it is being manipulated by the methods and the functions that are available in Python, and we will be able to do a certain number of tasks with these data structures. Okay. So you are having data structures class this time, right? Or is it only for the CSE students?
Sir, it's only for CSE student this semester.
Okay, it is only for the CSE students. So data structures, you should understand that the computer science students are learning something called data structures. So what could they be learning, right? So let's just try to understand what they are trying to learn. They are trying to learn the different ways in which you can use your C programs or your C++ programs to be able to manipulate the data. Okay, so they will start with something called stack, then something called queue. So stack means that it is like it's like a stack of plates. So you have to understand that in stack, what we mean is that it is like a stack of plates, which means that whenever we put a plate, we put it on top of the pile, and whenever we take a plate, we take it from the top of the pile. Okay, which means that whatever goes in last into that data structure is the one that comes out first. Okay. So we have learned about this pop function, right? So similar way, we have certain functions like insert, pop, etc. in these data structures as well. So they have stack data structure, in which they have the last element coming out as the first element, and it is called as LIFO, last in first out. Okay. So I'll just write it down here for you. So LIFO, it's a stack, okay, that is last in first out. Then they must be learning something like FIFO, which is a queue, okay, where it is like let's assume that you have gone to an electricity board office, and you want to pay your electricity bill in cash at the counter. So when you went there, right, you saw that there is a long queue. So what you will do is you will go and join the queue, and then after some time, when it is your turn, you will get processed, and then you will come out of the queue. And it is like first in first out, which means that when you went to that electricity board office and you saw that queue there, you waited so that the first person who went there was the first person who got processed, then the second person got processed, then the third person got processed, and then finally your bill was paid. So, that is like a first in, first out. Then we have certain things like, you have learned linked list with me in CS101. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So, linked list is something that they are going to learn in data structures, okay, and then they are going to learn different varieties of linked list over there: singly linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list, etc. Okay. And then they are going to learn about trees. Okay. They can learn about balanced trees. Okay. They can learn about the B trees, oh I am sorry, BST, binary search trees. Then they can learn about the balanced binary trees like the AVL, red black tree. So, these are all different ways in which the data can be manipulated. Okay. Python does give us a few data structures as inbuilts. Okay. Then you can use further libraries for playing around with, I would say that way, playing around with different data structures like tree, etc. Okay. So, this is what you should understand when I say about data structures. Okay. And we are not really learning the algorithms like the linked list, singly linked list and those kind of things, but it would be good that if you could look at what it is, because you already know linked list, you know what is stack and queue. I do not think you need to learn it separate, as something new, because a stack means that you have a pile of plates or a stack of books, and you take the first book from the top and you put the book at the top whenever you want to keep it back. Okay. So, now, so in Python we have learned list, tuples, dictionaries, and now we are going to learn about set. So, a set is conceptually identical to a mathematical set. Okay. So, it is the same as the mathematical set. Okay. So, a set contains no duplicates, and in Python it is one of the simplest container, and it is also mutable, which means that you can actually change the values in set. There is no ordering, there are no duplicates, and usual thing that we do with the set are union, intersection, subset, etc. Okay. We can look for proper subset, proper superset, etc., and all of those things. Then we can look for containership using the in keyword. Okay. And let us take a look at these three lines. So, the first line is a underscore list is equal to 1214562. Okay. So, that is a list that we have created with the elements 1214556 and 7 elements. And then we look at the second line, a is equal to set of a underscore list. So, we use the function set to convert the list, a list, into a set, and that is stored into a variable called a, and then we try to print the value of a. So, we have to usually use print of a, but we know that in this representation stands for the IPython interpreter representation. Okay. So, let us try that. So, clear, wow, I am not sure, yeah, that session was inactive for a long time. All right. So, a underscore list is equal, let us do the same thing, 1214556 and 2. Okay. And this will work. I do not need to give any spaces or anything over here, but it is generally a good practice to give spaces, etc., so that your code becomes easier to read, it is readable. Okay. So, this is your a list, right. A list, and set of A list is assigned, oh I am sorry, is assigned as A. So, now let us take a look at len of A list and len of A. We can see that the set A, okay, let us take a look at type of A and type of A underscore list. It is a set, type of A is a set and A underscore list is a list, and we know that the length of A is 5 and the length of a list is 7. So, how did that happen? Because we know that there are no duplicates. So, now let us take a look at what we have in A. Okay, A has 1, 2, 3, oh I am sorry 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, while A list, right, contained 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 2. So, 1 and 2 were repeated twice. Okay. So, there are no duplicates and there is no ordering. So, this is what we got by converting a list into a set, and the list contained duplicate elements. Now, I think in the previous class, by the time when the class was about over, I think some Bhadraksh Bhargava, did you ask me the question about NumPy? Yes. Okay. So, Bhadraksh Bhargava has said that he asked me about a question on NumPy. Now, I am okay. So, what did he ask me? So, NumPy, this is slightly different than the set. Okay. I want to take a slight time off from the sets. I want to take you to NumPy, and I want to also tell you something about PEP8, but that I could do it after set as well. So, NumPy, it stands for numerical Python package. Okay, it is a numerical Python package, NumPy. Okay. And unlike the list, so what is the peculiarity of Python list? So, let us look for Python list. Okay. A Python list is a data structure which contains multiple elements in order, or multiple elements, multiple, or we can say which contains multiple entries of different data types. Okay. While NumPy has only, it is a number array that we are working with in NumPy, and not a general Python list. Okay. Now, there is a specific data type for a NumPy array. So, if it is int, then all the elements in a NumPy array will be int. If it is float 32-bit, float 32 or float 64, then all elements will be float 32 or float 64 respectively. Okay. So, if the array itself is a float 32 array, which means that it contains 32-bit floating point values, float 64 if it contains 64-bit floating point values, if it is integer, which means that it contains only int values, meaning that that complete array will contain only those values, those types only, while the Python list contains multiple data types. So, that itself will give way for the Python list to be slower than your NumPy array. Okay. And next, there were some other arguments which said that it had some localized storage. Okay. So, I just did a search for why NumPy faster in Python. Okay. So, it is used for efficient manipulations and operations on high level mathematical functions. multidimensional arrays, linear algebra, Fourier transformation, random number capabilities, etc. And it provides tools for integrating C, C++, Fortran code in Python. Okay. So this is something that you can look at. So an array is a collection of homogeneous data items that are stored in contiguous memory locations. So this is very important. Okay. So localized reference or something, that is what I think you used as a different term for the same, I believe, right, Bhadraksh? So here, right, it means that, you know, instead of actually storing the numbers in different memory areas, okay, it all tries to put everything together as one big chunk, okay. And a list is a collection of heterogeneous data type stored in non-contiguous memory locations. Okay, a NumPy package breaks down a task into multiple fragments and then processes all these fragments parallelly. So that is the difference between NumPy and the normal Python list. Okay, and the NumPy package integrates C, C++, Fortran codes in Python, and these programming languages have very less execution time compared to Python. So these are the reasons why the question why Bhadraksh asked me, and the reason why Bhadraksh got back to me regarding NumPy is because when I taught you list on the first day, when I taught you list in Python, I told you that list should not be used for major computations, and it will make your program way too slower, and that is the reason why NumPy was suggested as an alternative, so that you can do faster mathematical calculations, etc. All right. And if you are going to learn something regarding machine learning or artificial neural networks or artificial intelligence, trust me, you are going to come across NumPy. And because you are going to come across something like TensorFlow, you are going to come across something like Theano and those kind of scikit-learn and all of these things. All of those things uses NumPy and another package called SciPy. Okay. So SciPy is another package or library used for scientific computing and technical computing in Python. All right. So just give me a moment, guys. Krishraj classல இருக்கு, ஏதாவது இம்பார்ட்டண்டா இருக்கா? திரும்பி கூப்பிடட்டுமா?
ஓகே சார்.
சரி. All right. So that was I had to answer a question regarding NumPy. I guess that is fine, and you guys are able to understand why there is a difference in the speed itself in the two packages that you use in Python. One is you are using the inbuilt thing like list, and you are saying, and I am saying that it is slower, so you should use something called NumPy. Okay, while over here we are learning set. Let's now focus back on set. So we have seen the creation of a simple set. We know that in a set there are no duplicates. If there are any duplicates, then the duplicates are removed, because we have seen that a list contain 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 2, while the a contains only 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6. That's it. All right. So that means that the elements in a set is unique. Now let's try to look at the operations on set. Okay, if we have two sets, let's say f10 and p10 with values 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, and p10 has the values 2, 3, 5 and 7. Let me create those two sets here also. f10 is equal to set of, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 1, 2, 3 and 5 and 8. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. P10 is equal to set of what are the values? 2, 3, 5, 7. 2, 3, 5 and 7. All right. So now we have f10. Let's take a look at the type of f10, length of f10. Okay, and similarly the type of p10 and length of p10, Okay, so we should have 5 elements in F10 and we should have 4 elements in P10, and both should be of type set. Okay, so we have 5 elements in F10 and 4 elements in P10 and both are of type set. Okay, now we can do the mathematical operations. So the mathematical operations, union, intersection, difference, symmetric difference, and further operations, proper subsets, all of these operations can be performed. So F10, so first is union, F10 or P10. So I've used the pipe character. Okay, so this is called the, where can I type it and show you? This character, it's called pipe. That's most probably found above your backslash key, as in you have to press the shift backslash key to get the pipe symbol. Okay, so I used F10 pipe P10, and that gives me 1 2 3 5 7 and 8. So that means it's a union of two sets F10 and P10, and then we can do an intersection. So F10, okay, and P10, that's an intersection. So which means that it will give you the common elements between these two sets 2 3 5, correct. And then you have the difference, that's a set difference. Okay, so F10 minus P10, so whatever is there in P10 which is 2 3 5 7, 2 3 5 is going to be removed, and finally you will have 1 and 8, right. You have 1 and 8, but these values are not stored anywhere. Okay, these values are just computed after as a mathematical output. Then you can actually store it by using it another variable like new set, n set is equal to F10 minus P10. Okay, then you can have symmetric difference, which is F10 caret P10, okay, which will give you the symmetric difference of the two sets. Okay, and then you have the proper subset and the subset. So in the proper subset you have, let's say you have a set as 1 and 2, which is B. So B is equal to set of 1 and 2. Okay, and we are looking for F10. So let's take a look at F10. F10 contains 1 2 3 5 and 8. So B is less than F10. Yes, it is true. Okay, because B is a proper subset of F10. Okay, and F10 less than or equal to F10 is a subset of, yes, it is a subset, correct. So then you have containership, which is 1 in F10, 4 in F10. Okay, I think that's pretty simple, right, because 1 in F10, 5 in F10, then 11 in F10 will give you a false. Okay, so this is a subset, F10 less than or equal to F10. Then so let's look at a problem. Okay, so given a dictionary of names of students and their marks, identify how many duplicate marks are there and what are these duplicate marks. So who all understood the problem statement? Students? Bhadraksh, what did you share the YouTube link?
Sir, that was regarding the contiguous memory.
Okay, sure. So I guess you must have heard about fragmentation and defragmentation if you are using Windows, right? There is something called a defragmentation program in Windows, which will allow you to, make all the memory locations closer. Okay, and then which means that you have to remove the fragments and make one big unallocated chunk of free space. That's called defragmentation. Okay, so that's what is related to this contiguous memory allocation. Anyway, So, how many of you understood what is this problem statement 2.2? Given a dictionary of the names of students and their marks, can you create this, please? Can someone create this given a dictionary of the names of students and their marks? A small dictionary, please. I'm waiting for answers. So, I will also start writing the program. So, that is problem statement 2.2, problem 2.2, okay, and I am going to just delete all of the things in the, yeah. So, given a dictionary of the names of students and their marks, how many of you created? Yeah, okay. So, Abhishek Kumar Mohandi, this is incorrect. Why would I say this is incorrect? Because you have used square brackets.
Yes, curly
Okay.
brackets.
Yes, it should be the curly braces. Bhadraksh Bhargava has sent that with the correct curly braces with the same data that you have. Okay. Now that is the dictionary that we have. So now let's create a dictionary. Okay. So let's say names underscore marks is equal to, so we have a dictionary which contains, okay, which contains the names of the students. So Avinash 20, then Praveen 30. I can write it this way, right? Then Rahul 20, Anu 30, Amin 35. Okay, so I can do it this way, or I can put it this way. This one should be like this ideally. Okay, I can write it this way, and that is also a dictionary. All right. So we have names underscore marks. Now identify how many duplicate marks are there and what are these duplicate marks. So say in this question, right, I can approach this question in two ways. I will create the dictionary in two ways. I can create the dictionary in two ways if I want. Okay, and what I mean is, let's say I have 20, 21, 23, 29, 39 and 40. So 5 marks, okay, 5 marks from 5 subjects. Can I do it this way? I can do it that way also, right? So which means that the problem statements are going to be quite different now. Okay, so 30, 20, 21, 25, 29, 28. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 5. It can be that way. So let's just take the first one. So I'm just going to comment this. I'm not going to use this particular for the type for the first time. So this is what means by assumption. So based on this particular problem statement, I am assuming that the names of the students and their marks. So when I say their marks, can it be just one single mark for all of these students or multiple marks for multiple subjects? It is up to you how you assume the problem to be. Okay, but definitely you should assume it so that in such a way that it reduces your workload. Don't make the assumption that will make your work difficult. Anyway, so let's go with this first assumption, names underscore marks, and identify how many duplicate marks are there. How do you do that?
Sir, we can use the dot values from dictionary and then convert it into a list.
So
I
dot
mean,
values is giving me a list values,
yes, sir.
already a list, right?
Yes,
And
and then we
then
can name a set, and we can convert it. We can use name underscore marks dot values in the set. We'll
right.
get a set value, and if we take out the length of both of them and subtract from each other, we can get the number of duplicate values.
Okay. Oh, okay. Identify how many duplicate marks are there. Okay. So you mean to say if I do print len of marks
And name underscore dot
minus
values.
marks underscore set len of, right?
Yes, sir. Len of, yeah.
So that should give me the total length, the total number of. Let's see whether it is correct or
Duplicate.
not. So we can do percentage. So in IPython itself, if I have to run it, I can do percentage run probe 2 p2 dot py. Okay, right, and it printed 2. Okay, and yes, we know that there are two values that are duplicated, right? So we have 20 repeated twice and 30 repeated twice. Okay, so the first one is identify how many duplicate marks are there. By the way, who gave me this answer in audio?
Sir, Bhadra.
Okay, thank you, Badraksh. And what are these duplicate marks? How do you do that?
Sir, we can use a for loop, sir, and check if the value from name dot marks is there in marks underscore set or not. And if it's not there, then we can print out that value. That will be the one which is the duplicate.
If it is not there, can you come again, please? Okay, I'll write the loop. Can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
me
Yes, sir.
for
In
uh,
marks, marks, yeah, marks.
marks? Okay,
Yes, sir. Then we can use an if condition. If I uh, not in
mm-hmm.
marks underscore set print I.
Okay. So here the question is, and what are these duplicate marks?
So then it should be in. Sorry, sir. It should be in.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
thought we have to
Right.
segregate the non-duplicate ones.
Okay. So it's now it's going to print the let's say print duplicate marks. All right. So I just gave it a heading so that it comes there, and I'll give a backslash n also here. Okay, so we have duplicate marks 20, 30, 20, 30 and 35. That is now incorrect, correct? Because 35 is not duplicated.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can do if marks set dot count of I greater than 1. Oh, it doesn't have it is marks.
Sir, we can convert
It is
it into
marks.
list then
No,
again.
it is marks. I
Okay,
made a
okay.
mistake. It's not marks set.
Okay.
So dict doesn't have its marks and names underscore marks. Wait, what did
Sir, I guess the dot value is written the tuple, right?
No, I think where am I doing it wrong? Say I have marks, right? Oh, it's a dict value and I need to convert it into a list. Okay, so it has to be converted into a list, right? So that is going to give me 20, 30, 20, 30. And what I can do is I can, if I want, I can initialize an empty let's say list. Okay, empty list, or let me call it as duplicates is equal to an empty thing, and duplicates dot append I, and I don't need to do this printing over here. okay, and then finally I'll do print set of duplicates. So that will give me 20 and 30. Right, students? How many of you were able to follow? How many of you have absolutely no clue what was done? You must tell me very frankly if you have no clue what is being done, what happened here.
Sir, as of now, I don't have any clue. Whatever is happening.
Okay, who is this?
Sir, Vishesh.
Vishesh Nagar. Okay. So Vishesh says that he has no clue about what is happening. Okay.
Sir, for the previous few classes, I have having connectivity issues, so I have no idea whatever was taught in like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, but,
So
but all the videos are available on the YouTube, right? And it is all
Yes, sir.
available as a live stream. So I have
Yes,
not,
sir.
I've given
That
you
I
the
have taught.
classes immediately.
Yes, sir. Saturday and Sunday we are having holidays. That's when I have thought like I will go through them once again in Saturday.
Okay, okay, no problem. Anyway, since Vishesh has asked us this question, can someone try to explain it to Vishesh? It's a simple exercise. Who is going to volunteer for that? Okay, since there are no volunteers so far, I think I myself will volunteer for that. Or does anyone want to?
Sir, I can explain.
Okay, Abhishek, try that please. So Vishesh, is there anything that you understand from the screen that you see right now? Okay, so the first thing that you see over here, right, it is a new data structure. So this is a data structure, okay, structure called dictionary. Okay, this is called dictionary, and a dictionary, what it has is, it is similar to what you can think of as a dictionary, a book dictionary, where you have a word and its meaning. Okay, and the word, right, is not repeated in a dictionary, which means that you can think of it as a unique value. So it is called a key. A unique value is also called a key. So every key has the meaning associated with it. So it is called a key value pair. So a dictionary in Python is called a key value pair. Okay, so let me see whether that is there. Yes. So Python dictionary, we have a data structure which can hold key value pairs, where let's say you have two dictionaries, numbers 1 and numbers 2. I have mentioned two dictionaries here. Okay, and this has two keys, 1 and 2, ONE1 for numbers 1 and TW2, TWO2, ONE1 and TWO2. Okay, those are the keys, the keys in string. Okay, and in the second dictionary, numbers of 2, you have two keys which are numeral 1 and numeral 2, and the value associated with the particular key 1 and 2 are string ONE and string TWO. Okay, so similar way we have something like a dictionary here. So we started by asking that question, Vishesh, did you understand that question? So I asked the question, can anyone create a dictionary of the names of the students and their marks? Vishesh, are you still there in the code?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So my question was, given a dictionary of the names of the students and their marks, okay, which means that I asked them, how can we create such a dictionary? So here we have the name of the student as the key, okay, and the value as the mark for that student. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students, Avinash, Praveen, Rahul, Anup and Amin, okay, who has the value marks as 20, 30, 20, 30 and 35. So let's just I'll just show you something, names underscore marks, right? So names underscore marks is the dictionary that we have created in the Python. Okay, and I have this in the IPython space workspace that I am working in. So names underscore marks. What kind of a data structure is that, or what kind of a data type is that? It's called a dict, DICT. Okay, so which means that I can access the marks of Avinash by typing the name Avinash in names of marks, and it will give me the mark of Avinash. I can same way do Praveen, it gives me the values of Praveen. Okay, and then there are certain methods associated with it. Say for example, dot values. Let me show you names underscore marks dot keys. Okay, that gives me a list of dictionary keys containing Avinash, Praveen, Rahul, Anup, and Amin. Okay, and if I give values, it will give me the values 20, 30, 20, 30, and 35, which are the values associated in the which are the values in the dictionary. So okay, so you have the marks and the names in a dictionary called names underscore marks. Okay, and in the second line that we see here, okay, what we do is we have we have the names underscore marks, and we extract the values of it. Okay, so we get the values of it, which means that we will get something like this: dict values 20, 30, 20, 30, 35, and then we convert it into a list. Okay, which means that what I do is list of names underscore marks dot values, that gives me 20, 30, 20, 30, 35 as a list, as a Python list, and that I am storing into marks. Okay, so which means that the values 20, 30, 20, 30, 35 is now stored into the variable marks, and we create a new data structure called set from this marks list, which we just learned today, if you remember, Vishesh. So marks set is equal to, so marks, let's see what it is, set of marks, right? So set of marks is 20, 30, 35. It is going to avoid the duplicates. Okay. I think I need to just do marks set here. That should still work, I believe. Yes, right? All right. So Vishesh, so first line, did you understand? It's a dictionary. Second line, we are taking the values of the dictionary, converting it into a list, and storing it into a variable called marks. Then that variable marks is used in the third line, convert that into a set and store it into a mark set variable. So the marks underscore set is called a variable, right? It's a variable in which you are going to store the set marks. So set marks is, set marks is stored in marks underscore set. Okay, so we have marks underscore set as set of marks, and then len of marks is what? 5, and len of marks set, okay, which means removing the duplicates, okay, are 3. So you have 2 duplicates is what it means. Okay, so it has printed the duplicates, and then you want to print the duplicate marks, and for that, do you know, Vishesh, what this is? Duplicates is equal to square brackets. Do you know what it is? I have initialized an empty list. So I type of duplicates, it's a list, and I type of len of duplicates, it's 0. So it's an empty list, and duplicates dot append 5 means that if I look at what is the value of duplicates, it will have 5 in it. If I say duplicates dot append 7 and I look at duplicates, it will be 5 and 7. Okay, and this is a loop for I in marks underscore set. So marks underscore set is what? is 20, 30 and 35. So, for I in marks underscore set means that I will first contain, in the first iteration I will contain the value 20. So, it will go with 20. So, if marks dot count of 20 is greater than 1. So, in the list, if the marks has been there more than twice, I mean more than once, then it is a duplicate. If that is so, then you do duplicates dot append of 20, okay, and then you go take the value 30 as I. So, I will contain the value 30 for 30 in marks set. If marks dot count of 30 is greater than 1, duplicates dot append 30, okay, and then 35 again the same iteration, and then finally you will print the set of the duplicates. At least Vishesh, are you able to understand the kind of steps that has happened here? At least
Yes, sir.
you got the step explanation, right? But for you
Yes,
to
sir.
understand what has happened in each of these lines, it is very important that you go back, watch those lectures and practice, okay?
Yes,
So,
sir, the logic is somewhat clear. I just need to learn the syntax and the
yes,
type.
exactly. You need to learn the syntax and those things. So, you can see that it's pretty powerful, the Python, okay. We were able to do a lot of things. You did not have to worry about the string comparisons and all of those things. Those are most of these things are taken care for you, okay. That is why this is called a very high level language, and while C is called a high level language. So, you can for this particular program you can use a set to find the unique marks. Second part can be done in a few ways, okay. So, this is how you can do it. Okay. So, this is one possible solution, and so we have learned about the Python data structures. So, this solution, does anyone have any doubts? You can just go through it, please. If anyone has any doubts. So, students is equal to x 60, y 60, z 55, all underscore marks is equal to list of students dot values, and unique is equal to set of all marks, okay. Number of duplicates is equal to length of all marks minus length of unique, and print the number of duplicates. And for I in unique, all marks dot remove I, okay. So, you have the list all marks and you have the unique set of marks, and then you are removing the unique marks from the all marks list, and then finally you will have the set of all the duplicates. Oh, by the way, you have to print set of all marks, because if you do not use set of all marks, right, then 60 will be printed twice. In our earlier case, in our program, it would print 20 twice and 30 twice, okay. So, that is a possible solution. Now, we have learnt list, tuples, dictionaries and sets. These are the core Python data structures, and so for homework, which is also going to be your lab also, right, you have to explore all the methods of the various data structures that we have seen so far. Read the documentation for each of these methods, solve all the problems that are discussed. Now, I am going to send you something interesting.
Sir, in set marks, sir, 20 will be print twice, na sir?
In our thing, it does not print it, because we have taken care of this particular problem, right. It prints the duplicate max as 20 and 30 only once. I mean 20 and 30 are the duplicates, that is what it means. Who asked this question?
Okay, sir.
What is the doubt that you have?
Sir,
okay, let us
in
take a
set
look
marks,
at this particular question. So, if I do not use set of all marks, right, then it will print 60 60, and in our program, if we do not use print set of duplicates, right, and I just use duplicates, then it is going to print, oh, it again printed only 20 and 30, because Because I'm doing if it is greater than 1, okay, and dot append, and I'm using it from marks underscore set. If I had iterated over marks, then it would have printed it twice, okay, and since I have iterated over marks underscore set, it's looked only once and it is appended only once, okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. So we have learned
Thank you, sir.
these things. Okay. Is it clear? Who asked this question, by the way?
Sir, Rituraj, sir.
Rituraj. Is it clear, Rituraj?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Rituraj. So you have to look at all the methods of the various data structures you have seen so far. Read the documentation for each of these methods. Solve all the problems that we have discussed so far. And where do you find the problems? You will find all the problems in the in the slides that I have already shared with you. Now I want to actually share something here with you. This is called PEP8 convention, meaning that when you are writing a Python code, right, for that, if I'm using a different naming style for naming my variables, and you are using a different naming style for renaming your variables, then it may be difficult for me and you to understand our programs each other, okay. So in order to reduce this kind of an issue, there have been some styles that has been adopted in Python code, okay, and this is mentioned in the PEP8 standard or PEP8 style guide for Python code, and we can see that there are snake cased values. Snake case means long function name. Yes, you have another class, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to send this. Please go through this also in your lab time. Yes, Abhishek.
Sir, can you share us some more problems, sir? Because, sir, I am feeling that in Python we are not solving much problem as we were solving in C, sir.
We will. Okay. Right
In
now,
the class, sir, it is much
I
difficult
have
for
emphasized to look into the different data types and data structures, because without having enough things to do with Python, it will be very difficult to do the problem solving, okay. So I can definitely ask you to write multiple lists, and I can ask you to create multiple dictionaries, but that's not how we will go ahead, right? We will come across it. Thank you for the concern.
And sir also share the sites where we get the topic wise question practice.
Topic wise question practice, but I have already included those in the slides, correct? So if you look at the slides contain those questions topic wise, okay. So
Okay, sir.
yes, just go through it, please. So we have the basics, then practice basic questions, then we have the control flow, then we have the practice control flow questions, then we have the data structures, and I'm going to upload the data structures part also. It's this one. I'll upload it, okay. And we will have the lab also today afternoon, okay. And go through these slides. All the questions that are mentioned in the slides have thorough understanding, okay. That is very important, otherwise you may miss out on a lot of things. And also go through this PEP8 standard, so that mentions about the standards in programming that you need to adopt in coding with Python, okay guys. So I'll stop it here, you may leave. Thank you. If you have any questions, you may ask.